I'm too old for this, man. What's occurring, Bert?
What's occurring? Brought to you by Continental Tyres, main partner of the Tour de France. And before we start tonight, a reminder that Continental Tyres are offering you the chance to win a VIP trip to Paris for the final weekend of the Tour. Entries close this Sunday, so head to www.continental-tyres.co.uk/what's occurring to enter now. You'll get travel, accommodation, and front row seats on the Champs-Elysees for the final stage. What have you got to lose? So, that's that. Moving on to stage 5 of the Tour de France. I think it's the first one we've done together since the pre-tour pod. Well, how are you, mate? How's things?
Yeah, good. Today was I was actually okay. Like yesterday I didn't feel great, so I was like, I think today I want to push a bit just to get a decent sort of effort in, because up to this point it's been so explosive. You've been doing 200 watts or 600 watts, which certainly isn't my cup of tea. It's like an Earl Grey, just not digging that. I'm more of a flat white kind of guy, so it's completely different to what I like. But anyway, so treated it like I was going for it. We're still pretty relaxed though, to be fair. And then started decent, was up on my schedule, my pacing schedule, and I was like, I actually feel alright here, so keep going, go through the first time check. Ollie's in the car behind, didn't hear anything, so I was like, well, that's not good, must be miles down. I was like, but I'll keep pushing just because the effort will be good. And I was still doing more than what I was supposed to. Second time check, still nothing. I'm like, oh, I must be miles down now. So I start to sort of just back off a little bit, there's no point in going half 11 and coming in 20th, you know what I mean? So then I got to 10k to go, and I was around sort of 26 minutes, and I knew the best time at that stage was 37:15. No, around 27 minutes, sorry. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do the next 10k in 10 minutes. So that's when I backed off even more then. And but was good though, actually, to be fair. I think it did me good just to get that sort of bit of hit out in. It was a nice course. It was a typical TT course. When you think of a TT in the Tour, those big wide open plains, the flags blowing in the wind.
I was going to say it was windier than expected, right? The forecast, we spoke about it yesterday, it was supposed to be 4 or 5k an hour, but it was pretty windy, wasn't it?
Yeah, picked up quite a lot. I think you could see from especially the favourites, they were quite far down going out because the wind picked up and it was a stronger headwind. So, but then coming back, they were obviously quicker. So yeah, that was part of the reason why I was probably a bit more down at the time check and didn't get any feedback. But it was quite funny as well. There was one roundabout towards the end, and Ollie was on the radio, and I think because he knew I wasn't going for it at the end, I think he sort of relaxed a bit, and he was like, they just forget to tell you the odd thing, and it just winds you up then, doesn't it? And you're coming into this roundabout, he's like, straight over this roundabout in the bars.
And it wasn't in the bars?
No, it wasn't. No, so it was either skis where you're on your, dry bars, or bars is on the sides. That's the language we use. But anyway, I go into it all the other roundabouts pretty fast, and then come in halfway through the roundabout, and then you're starting to look for the exit, and you're like, oh shit, this is tightening up. And you see the curb's coming towards you pretty fast, and I was like, oh man. Luckily I was, I wasn't full gas, so I had a bit of time to just correct myself. Coming out the roundabout, I just took my hand off the bars and just looked behind,
Gave him the eyes.
just gave him the eyes, yeah. So just to say, sort your shit out, mate. But yeah, it was a solid TT though. The roads are quite rough, which is quite unusual for the Tour, and normally they resurface it a bit. But no, it was good. The crowd were out. There was good atmosphere.
That's one thing I noticed actually, mate, that the crowd seemed huge. For a time trial, normally they're a little bit hit and miss, even though it's condensed in the amount of kilometres. It's not as exciting as watching a big peloton come through, but it seemed like the crowd were mad.
Yeah, it was really good. There was quite a lot of Welsh flags as well, to be fair. There's been a lot of Welsh flags all race, which has been nice.
Who are they for?
Oh, mate, can't think who they're for. But no, it was real good atmosphere and did kind of enjoy it. But part of me now is like, it would have been good to have just gone all in, you know. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you're a DS now. What would you tell me? Like, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but just for argument's sake, go all in and you come ninth, 10th, or you go super easy, save yourself for days to come. But also, because, sorry, I just want to throw in another thing. That's the physical side. But the mental side, we'll go over yesterday, I'm sure, in a minute. But I had a bit of a tough day mentally yesterday. Didn't feel great. Ends up sitting up, losing a bit of time. Today, if you've got a top 10, you kind of like, oh yeah, actually the legs are all right over this sort of effort. You get a bit of confidence back. Or you go super easy and you still have that little doubt in your head. What would you say?
I would have come to your room after the stage yesterday and say, actually, we've got to reassess a little bit as a squad, because Carlos, I still believe he'll finish 6th or 8th, like we said. I still think he'll leapfrog a loads of people and get that result. But does he need the full support of a full squad to achieve that? No. So let's keep backing him, let's keep supporting him, but not put all our resources that way. Geraint, go as easy as you can A to B tomorrow. If you got to push a little bit because it's what you feel you need, then do it. And then tomorrow, stage 6, breakaway. G in the breakaway. That's what I'd say. My reason being is because if you get in a break, you personally, on that stage tomorrow, 6 guys, 8 guys, 10 guys, and they do let it go, that back you on that terrain. I think you can outsmart other people and physically you're good. And how does your team get success during this tour? 6th, 8th in GC isn't going to quite cut it, but a stage win is a stage win. You lost Ghana, can't get it in the time trial. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, that was pretty much kind of the plan, really. Other than, if you're going...
Hang on, don't release this. We don't want people knowing you want to go in the break.
Well, I think that's pretty obvious now, though, isn't it? Maybe not tomorrow, but, I'm going to be looking for just go in the break at some point, aren't I? Yeah, tomorrow I think it's got a chance, although who's got the jersey? UAE got the jersey, haven't they, with Pog, so who knows with them? Pog probably want to keep it, won't he? Although...
But he can keep it and the break can win. Because there is big GC gaps already. If you look at, 10th is 2.5 minutes. 20th is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, there is going to be that 10th to 20th rider. That's going to be the tricky bit. Your Butrago, your Tobias Hansen, your Ben O'Connors, your Aurelian Parapant. Them guys might want to go in the break to take the jersey. But if it's no one inside the top 20, the break can go and they can keep the jersey as well.
Yeah. But you'd think he'll want to keep it, but at the same time, I think they'll want to save the boys a bit. But you know what it's like? Keep it relatively close. Hope that somebody that's not in the break also gets interested. Then they help you chase then towards the end, and it comes back. For instance, for argument's sake, Alpecin aren't in the break. UAE keep it close, say 2-3 minutes. It means Alpecin are like, actually, yeah, Van der Poel chance today. They help chase, and yeah, that's kind of what you want as a team leading, and bit of help. Otherwise, if you let it go, then you just got to ride all day, haven't you? It depends on the wind and everything, doesn't it? There's a lot of things that come into play, but yeah, it's 50-50 with a break, I reckon, tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think, who does want the stage tomorrow? Who's going to want to pull to go toe-to-toe with Poggy? Who can, if anyone, who can beat Poggy? It's very few and far between. And I'd say Van der Poel is the only one. You got 2 climbs at the end there. One is 1.2k at 7%, and the final climb, 800 meters at 9%. The fear factor for any team pulling is they pull and Poggy does what Poggy does.
I kind of thought tomorrow might have been a Binny sort of stage, but that's might be just over the limit, that, isn't it, for him? But he's good at that sort of uphill drag, isn't he? Maybe it's more stage 8, I think, which is more an uphill drag for him. But yeah, but like when you think about it, there's how many teams has won a stage? Alpecin have won 2, have they? Quick Step have won 2 with Merlier and today Remco, and then you got Pog. So it's only the 3 big teams as well that have won stages. So there's a lot of teams that are going to be interested.
And they know when they get to the mountains, it's probably going to be that, fiercely contested with the GC guys, that there might not be a lot of to take there. So I think big battle for the breakaway tomorrow.
Yeah.
15, 20 guys, even if it's 1 or 2 in the top 20, they're still at 3, 4, 5 minutes. UAE can afford to control, not bring back the break, but keep it within arm's reach. So keep the jersey. I don't think Poggy needs to go fighting for a stage win and bonuses, even though how many times have we said that and they go on and do it. But yeah, mate, you should get the boys definitely in the break tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely the plan now.
If you were to put 2 guys in a break at 20, who would be the best 2 for you?
I guess Axel, anyone else really, like, Sam, Connor, me, Fossey, Timon. I think all of us would either play a role to help him or, look to go long and, if it's 20 odd guys. So yeah, that's just got to be our thing now. Like even the last few days, like we've been looking after Carlos, but at the same time, we've been trying to set up Axel as well. But the way the race has gone, like, yeah, just insane, mate. But talking about today, some ride from Remco, eh? As we all sort of knew, but even more impressive. Pog was close, man. Like 16 seconds off him, like on that sort of course as well. I think that's hell of a ride by Pog.
Yeah, mate. I mean, what I like about Remco is he talked the talk in the press last night. I believe I can do this. I can take time on him. I can take the jersey. I can take 50 seconds on Vingegaard, and then he just goes out there and does it. Talk's cheap in it, but when you back it up, fair play. I quite like that. And some people see it as, he's from a football background, bit of arrogance. So I just think he's just saying what he thinks.
Yeah, and you need a bit of that, don't you? You need a few. Yeah. You need a few different characters and people. Like, you don't want everyone being like just, doing the whole PC thing and just being a bit boring. Like,
yeah, great ride for him. Great ride from Poggy. Vingegaard, not so much. He's now, heading in the GC, minute 13 down.
Yeah.
After 5 days.
It's
not great.
Yeah, I thought he would do slightly better. Like, it's not the course for him, but the way he's been, or some of the TTs he's done in the past as well. Like, yeah, you thought maybe 30 seconds, but not a minute.
And after the Dauphiné, the time trial he produced there. And we spoke yesterday on the pod, me and Tom, and I said, I don't think it's going to be a deal breaker day. I think there could be 10, 20, 30, 40 second gaps. But it was a lot more, and further down you look, your Roglic's, your Carlos, there were some big gaps there.
Yeah. But like, from Carlos' point of view, yeah, it wasn't the best, but he's had a solid start, really, hasn't he? Like, it hasn't been his course at all, but he's not a million miles away from that sort of top 10 and that. So, he's just going to have to keep battling, and the second half of the race, hopefully, come into his own a bit. But, I don't know who else. Gal, your mate, your team.
Yeah.
And that was pretty disappointing, wasn't it? Him and Mass, like they were, I think I beat them. Which is like, yeah, that's only a solid sort of ride. For him, I think Vocalan, I think that was a standout. Like, crikey Moses, like he's stepped up this year, haven't he? So, yeah, that was a standout ride. Jorgensen, sort of,
what you'd expect.
Yeah, like not amazing, not terrible.
Bruno Almarai, mate, he was 4th on the stage.
Yeah, fair play. That was a ride.
From Decathlon, I think it's our best result so far in the Tour. In the first 5 days, we had a couple of 12th places, yet to crack the top 10. So 4th place on the stage. I think he was in that early batch of riders, which was similar to Affini.
Yeah, I was going to say Affini, that was a decent ride as well, wasn't it? Like, we all know how good he is, but I don't know, you kind of just, assume he just does his roll now, and then he maybe rolls around in 10th in the TT. It was funny, I was looking at the results actually. Campanart was maybe last but 4 or something, just over 6 minutes down. Like, he's
Clever
just
boy.
such a good, like, boy. I mean, he knows, like, I've got to go easy, so I'm going to go easy. Not like,
Yeah.
a lot of guys in the peloton be like, yeah, I'm going easy today, and then they lose like 3 minutes. Campanart knows what he's doing. Like,
If you're going hard, go hard. If you're going easy, milk it.
yeah, exactly.
Mate, as it was coming towards the final then as well, and Affini was still leading, it was always going to be inevitable that he was going to get rolled, but I was hoping he'd do it, mate. Like a guy like that, he has, Tour de France, 21 days, and it's pretty much 20 days pure domestique, and then he's got, an opportunity, and you're like, it'd be nice for him to have it, but you could always see it coming, couldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he's a good guy as well, though, isn't he? Like, because we were talking at the dinner table the other day, like, who's nice in the peloton, and we actually struggled to name some nice guys that do that job. Like, we were saying, like, Kuss and Yates, both the Yates boys, and I can't remember the others now, but they were nice. We were like, yeah, but they don't have to do the fighting.
Yeah.
The guys that we were like, Affini's good. Aviti was good. He's obviously stopped now. TSNR team.
Yeah.
We struggled to name him. Many others. Like, somebody would mention someone. So there's 7 of us in the table now. One person would name someone, and then at least 2 others would be like, nah, mate, nah. And they'd have like some story about how this dude would have flicked them and stuff. And
Do you remember all them years? It used to be like Aviti with Movie Star, and then like Berger and Shah with BMC.
yeah,
Like we'd be bouncing off them, wouldn't we? And Quinziato,
yeah,
all them guys in that role.
But to be fair, all of them had respect for each other. Whereas
Yeah.
now, it's almost like, I don't want to sound like the old man moaning now in the pub, but mate, there isn't that anymore.
No.
Like, well, let's talk about tomorrow. Yesterday, I guess. Like, or the first 4 days, mate, it's just insane. Like, it's always been stressful, haven't it? Like,
Yeah.
But I don't know. These days, it's like nobody wants to break. Like, into every corner, it's like a game of chicken. Like, it's like the first to break's the loser, and nobody touches their brakes, and they're all bumping, and just like, boys, it's like 100k to go. Like, if you lose one position, like out of the corner, it all comes back anyway. You end up back where you were. Like, it's insane. And then descents are the worst as well. You're doing like 70 odd k an hour, 80k an hour, and everyone's just fighting for position, and it's just like, it's not worth it.
With the boys at the dinner table, are they all saying the same, or is it, without bashing you, or is it you like getting that a little bit older and going, actually, I'm seeing the danger. I got a kid at home, or is everyone at the dinner table going, this is nuts?
No, everyone's saying it, and everyone's saying it during the race as well. But you can't, like, everyone's just like, well, I've got to do it because he's doing it, and then everyone just does it, and yeah, it's just a bit mad. But then, and you can see how UAE and Visma, Alpecin, they all get a bit more space, like they see them moving up, and they let them move up, and they have their side of the road and stuff. So, like yesterday, I had an extra coffee at the start because it looked like crosswinds for the first 100k. And it was like, remember those days where it's just, you're just full on from, there's no neutral. You're just like, right, we're racing. As soon as he says, counts down from 10 and the party, like, it's race. And you're just on the front row, fighting, trying to stay behind the car. It was a bit like that. And then we hear on the radio then, it's 10 to 15k, and it's a bit covered the first k, and then it's 10 to 15, and we're like, oh, right, okay.
Happy days.
And it didn't really happen, but I was kind of hoping it would, to be honest, though, because then we had 100k of chill, like, I don't know what it was, like low 200 watts, hardly anything. And then we turn sort of right, a bit more head and whatever, but
Block
then
headwind.
hit the climbs, and we were just like, right, we'll sit back a bit, and we don't want to be drag racing at the front all the time. Like, we don't need to do that. We'll sit back a bit, and then we'll try to move for the crunch point, 30k to go. There was this quite a steep climb. We'll try and get to the front there. But because it'd been so easy, we kind of like misjudged it because they all start lining up. You know what it's like as soon as you turn right after 100k, they're lining up 70k to go. Then the road's just blocked for the next 40k. And honestly, mate, it was like there was inches between everyone in that first half of the peloton, and you just could not move up. And we were just stuck behind, so we were just like, right, we just need to wait and just move up when we can. And eventually there was a little descent, there was a sprint, and then it was like 2k to the climb, and gaps slowly started to open, and we actually all ended up making it. There was a few of us on the right, a few of us on the left, and we all sort of made the top 20 into that climb. But it was just like mental, mate.
But then that's the catalyst going forward, isn't it? So 70k to go, the road was blocked. So you'll get back on the bus and go, right, 70k to go, we couldn't move. So what would you do if you did it again? Well, 80k to go, you got to get ready.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like just rewinding. You know, like I remember the first tours I did, it was, you know, you'd see the 25k to go and it would really get nervous. But maybe in the back end, until that point, 25, 30k to go, you could still move. And then it would really get, you know, nervous towards that point. And then as the years went on, it just 10k got added on every year. 10k got added on. And now sometimes, you know, last year, back end of my career, and clearly this year now, it's like you can easily have it where it's nervous, stressful, and almost blocked the whole stage.
Yeah, I think it also the stage of the race it is as well. Like obviously because it's the first 4 days, it's block headwind as well doesn't help. Everyone's fresher. Like I think towards the end of the race when, you know, if it's been a bit harder, well, everyone's a bit more fatigued anyway, and if the wind's not block headwind, I think it will be slightly different. But yeah, I think the first week you've almost just got to line up, you know? And like, because I was chatting with Connor, it's like, you know, how we did it was okay in the end and we managed to get there, but...
And it could have been blocked and split and your game over.
Yeah, and like just crashes, mate. Like there's so many times I've seen people leaning on other people and they're only staying upright because they're leaning on someone else who's keeping them upright because this other guy can't move because he'll bash into somebody else, you know? It's just so many close calls in front of you and I'm just thinking, I need a caffeine shot because I need someone to G me up for this. Like you need to just take that pin out your head, you know? You can't think about it, otherwise you're just at the back. So we're like, we either do that again or we just line up and we use, because we got, you know, we've struggled for results so far. It's been hard, you know, but we've still got engines here. We can still do that. Like, so you either line up next time or we gamble again and just roll with it. I think the fact that in those sort of finishes, Axel is our main sort of guy. The fact that he doesn't mind that floating around, I think we'll probably, if we were to do it again, we'd probably do the same thing.
But also you're past the worst of it now, mate. You're past the worst of it. You know, like now there's been that TT, there's a bit of a solid pecking order. Tomorrow is more physical. So, you know, it's still going to be a fight, but naturally, you know, as soon as it goes over a few climbs, you know, 50 guys will either be dropped or like this. So like a third of the peloton, boom, they're in their place.
Yeah.
So I think you are past the worst of it now. Now it'll find a rhythm, won't it? It needs a GCD, and we had one today.
Yeah, and the way, because we've ridden like that now, I feel like we've saved a lot of the team as well. Like, you know, if we had just been lining up, then they'd have a slight edge off them. So I think, you know, in the long run, it'll be good. At least we'll have a bit more legs to try and go on the brakes and actually do something now. But yeah, but yesterday, mate, 200 odd watts, and then we hit this climb, 30k to go. I felt like I just couldn't go. I was just like, like 500-600 watts. I was like, I struggle so much to do it. Like, I think it's part of it is, you know, just getting older, I guess. But the other thing is, like, I just don't really do that in training. And then in the racing, I haven't really got it because up to Swiss, I was doing like an earlier job in the races, so I wasn't in that deep final, so I wasn't sprinting and stuff with everyone and, you know, racing like full gas. Then crashed out of Swiss, so I didn't get it there either. So I think like in the last couple of years, it's something I've kind of neglected a bit, and I think it's just I just find it so hard to do now. Like even in the Giro last year, the crucial stage where I lost some time to Danny Martinez was when the stage got shortened because it was in Livigno and all the snow and stuff, and it was 120k valley, and then we went up this like 2k climb at the end, and it was the same thing. Like you're pushing a bit in the valley, but then you hit this climb and you got to go super deep, and just really struggle to do that now. And it was hard on the head because I was in there, I stayed, didn't get dropped, but then there was a crash over the top, and you got to slow down, and I even unclipped, and it was just like, whoa, another close call, but missed it. But then it's like, oh, geez, you can see the front guys are already like 500 meters down the road. There's one line, and you're like, in that suffering, and then you get back and you do another climb, and you're like swinging again, and you're feeling okay, but you're like, oh, this is solid. And then hit the valley road, mate. I think it was when Soler did a big pull at the end.
Yeah.
Holy moly. I was like, I've never lost the wheel on the flat, and I got gapped like 2 bikes, and I was like, I cannot drop this wheel.
Yeah.
Stayed there, but then...
You were right on the end of your saddle, weren't you?
Mate,
you were
like,
fully inserted.
But then it's like mentally as well, it like cracks you a bit because you're like, this is not an area where I should suffer this much,
Do you know what though? I bet there was... I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. How many years during the tour were we riding the front, dictating it, leading into climbs, going through valleys, squeezing out of corners, and the shoe was on the other foot?
Oh, mate, yeah, being at the back is the worst place to be.
It's just that positioning, isn't it? And like you get caught behind a crash. Like the guy at the front, okay, Poggy is, but the guy, Soler, you're stronger than him. It's just positioning.
Yeah. It's like, it's such a mental game now because like everyone is so, good and like close. Like physically, everyone's a lot better and sharper. So it's just keeping that confidence as well, isn't it? But
that's the tour though, mate. Like it's a harsh race because any weakness, if you wrote like a list of 100 things that attributes that a rider needs to perform in the Tour de France, if you miss one or two, or you're a bit off on one or two areas, the Tour will exploit that. Other races, Swiss, if you miss that little bit of explosivity, you can get away with it. It's better roads, there's less stress, there's not as much strength in depth. Go to other races, the same scenario. The Tour's a beast. Any weakness, it'll find it, won't it?
It will. And but yeah, it was impressive seeing those boys sprinting up that climb yesterday. I was just like, I'm too old for this, man.
Mate, don't forget, you got a yellow jersey at home, so don't worry. You've been there, done that.
Shackman said that, actually. So I was with, I was in a group going up this last climb. The atmosphere was incredible, actually, because it was Alaphilippe, so they were all just going nuts for him. And Shackman rolls up alongside me, and I was like, geez, mate, like how was that today? Going from nothing, 0 to 100 in like, a split second. And he said something similar. He was like, oh yeah, but just remember, mate, you got that yellow jersey hanging up at home. You'll always have that. I was like, oh yeah. Still hurts when you get dropped.
I had a similar moment this year in Amstel Gold. So I was driving the car, going up one of the climbs quite early on in the race, and Stevie Williams comes back and the convoy dropped. And I put my window down. You're right. And he was like, oh, I'm a shell. Like I'm injured. I got a bad knee. And he was like, head down. I was like, mate, never forget, you got your bow and arrow at home. You've won these races at this level. And it's like, sometimes you got to realize that. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, but
yeah, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It's not all. Yeah, it's not always plain sailing.
He's another nice guy though, Shackman. Not on the nice guy list.
True. Yeah.
We'll add him on.
But yeah, so in a roundabout way, we covered yesterday, today, and tomorrow, haven't we?
There's one thing we got to mention is Bradley Tout. So we asked people to guess the winning time of today's time trial, and he got it bang on.
Did he? Fair play.
36 minutes and 42 seconds. So if you want a job in a team, let me know, because you obviously know what you're talking about.
Fair play, brothers. Hey, talking about, fans and stuff. Turn up at the hotel yesterday, this one, and walk into reception, and then there's these Yanks there, these Americans, and they're like, Geraint Thomas. And I was like, straight away I was like, oh, Americans. I was like, oh, how are you doing? How are you doing? He's like, yeah, we come all the way from Texas to see you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, nice one. Yeah, well, I had a quick chat, walked off, and then 10 minutes later, walking back through, and you hear this GOG accent. The GOG accent's great, innit? North Wales accent. And he asked me something like, what's your connection with some Bangor something college? I was like, absolutely no idea, mate. He's like, oh, your dad used to work there, no? And I was like, my dad definitely didn't work in a college, mate. If you met my dad, like, but I don't know if Ave had. I doubt it though. But anyway, yeah, it's just funny, isn't it? Like all the people from North Wales, people from Texas. It's just like, it's mad, this sport, really, when you think how big it is. Like when you're wrapped up in it, it just seems the norm, doesn't it? But it's easy to forget, like, how big this race is. Like, people just come from everywhere.
Jens, he was on the motorbike today, and he was following a rider. I don't know what it was, and he said something. I found it interesting. He never really take it in. He was like, I'm not going to talk about the riders. I just want you to look at the flags on the side of the road. And he was going along on the motorbike, and he was like, there's a French one, there's a Breton one, there's a Welsh one, there's a German one, there's a Italian one. And when you actually look at it, them flags are obviously from that country. And you go along a 1 kilometre space in the Tour de France, and you can see 20 different nationalities. The pull that race has got is incredible.
Yeah. And even in the rider meeting at the start, they do the safety briefing and whatever, and they mention like how many countries like are viewing it and how many annual, like, it's insane, to be fair. So yeah, it's everyone's telling me to enjoy it as well. I'm like, you get in the middle of this peloton and enjoy that first few days, but when you do look back, you are happy to have survived it. But it's you just need to remember, it's like, it's pretty big, isn't it?
Still got all your skin, which is a lot more than some can say. Before we pick today's Chapeau of the day, a reminder that we're working with Roulette across the Tour de France, the best place to go for your essential tour reading. You can also use code WATTS to save 10% on all Roulette subscriptions, which start from less than £4 a month. So head to roulette.cc to enjoy Roulette's excellent daily tour coverage. Gee, Continental Tyres Chapeau of the day. Where you at, brother?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Like, I get what you and Tom want to do and not pick the winner, but sometimes I feel like it's being different for the sake of being different.
Mate, sometimes you got to pick the winner, but sometimes you got to be different.
Yeah, and like, I listened to Swifty and he gave Askey a shout out for a 20-second pull. I was like, mate, this Chapeau of the day is going downhill if you're giving it to Askey for a 20-second pull.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that one either.
Yeah, but I was like, mate, most of the peloton, if they had to, could just go and do that. Like, wow. Yeah, I don't want to belittle him now, but it was decent what he did. But I was like, mate, Chapeau of the day. Like,
it wasn't the performance of the day, was it?
No, but so for me, it's obviously Remco. He won. He beat Pog, who's Pog. He put time into like everyone. He's obviously a big contender. Pog is, it was a good ride, but it's Pog in it. It's what you expect. So I wouldn't really necessarily think him. Affini, I'd say, was a really good ride, and Vauquelin, really good ride for him. He's not a GC guy really. He's really stepped up. For me, they're the main three. So I'd be happy to give it to any of those three, to be honest.
Hang on, you scumbag. You named the first five without naming Bruno Amorai, Decathlon Étoile Le Mondial. What's your beef? What's your beef? You named four of the top five. What about Bruno? Legendary that was.
Bruno Swifty's like, he's got a man crush on him after the Giro in 2023. But no, a good ride from him as well, to be fair. But Affini beat him, no?
He did.
So
by 2 seconds.
Yeah, so Affini goes in front of him. Sorry, but
yeah, they're
similar riders, And
Affini's done the workload in the past few days, Bruno versus Eduardo. Eduardo's had a big impact in the first few days.
Well, Bruno was in a break, wasn't he? I think.
First 2 days.
Yeah. So, but yeah, for me, it's one of those three. I'm happy to give it to any of those three, to be honest.
Your three were Affini, Vankelan, and Remco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to give it to either three. Similar thing. I think what Remco does is impressive because the more the way he just talks the talk and walks the walk. And I like that. Yeah, fair enough. Affini, work for the team for 4 days. You see him burying himself. Then bam, opportunity for himself. Third, Vankelan would not have expected that. But I also have already given him Chapeau of the day.
Over you? Well, I ruled him out because of that then. But, because it's so French. Can you imagine if the Tour was actually Tour Britain? The biggest bike race in the world was the UK. Like, I can understand how local French guys just fly when they're around their hometown.
Yeah.
It'd just be amazing. Could you imagine, like, going through Cardiff, like, and that's stage 4 of Tour Britain, but it's like every rider in the world
one of 21
Tour Britain.
Yeah.
Just like, you just can't get your head around it, can you? How nuts that would be. So, yeah, I can see he's got loads of morale, but like, it's unreal how he's been going. But yeah, if he's won it before, we won't give it to him. So, Affini or Remco, and
Affini.
Yeah? Okay.
Nice guy as well, isn't he?
Yeah, we'll give it to Affini.
And Remco was the strong favourite. He executed, delivered. Chapeau, but not the Chapeau of the day. Eduardo, man, that was solid. Also, like an accumulation of what he's done over the past few seasons, not just today.
Yeah, but to be honest, you've talked me into Remco now, though. He talks the talk, he walks the walk, he backs it up, he does it. He has all that pressure. He heaps more pressure on himself because he talks the talk. And he still goes out there, delivers the biggest stage, like...
And he was significantly slower in the corners than Poggi, for example. Significantly. So what was he then producing in the straights?
Yeah.
You could see a chalk and cheese, two of them around the same corner. One is significantly faster than the other. So therefore, for Remco to still win by 16 seconds, what's he doing on the straights?
Yeah, yeah.
Should we give it to two people? Can we do that?
Yeah, it's our pod, mate. Do what we want.
Yeah. We make the rules.
Yeah. Affini and Remco, I like that.
Boom, done.
Chapeau, boys.
Otherwise, we're going to go on all day. Yeah, Chapeau, boys. So, yeah, stage 6, G in the breakaway. Hopefully, we'll be doing a pod. I think we're doing the next one on Friday, aren't we? So, hopefully, we'll be talking about your big day out in the breakaway.
Yeah, sweet. I got a long transfer, so I'm not sure what time it'll be, but yeah.
Well, I've written on my wall, Friday the 11th with G, open brackets, late, close brackets.
Sweet.
So, I'm prepared. That's my Friday night. Top banter.
What a Friday night, mate. All right.
Wild. All right. Keep it up, mate. Good work. Keep flying the flag and enjoy it, Geraint. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
No, enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. All right, but.
Ta-da, boy.
Ta-da.